the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Mr. Gibbs?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are here on the state's petition to establish the parent-child relationship. We do have the parentage test results, and there is one child that is being excluded. And Your Honor, so that child is Tayani Gibbs. I would like to offer an evidence what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit B, the parentage test results for Tayana.
Hey, State's Exhibit E?
B.
B, okay. State's Exhibit B is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that those results do show that Mr. Gibbs is not the biological father. There's a 0% probability of him being the biological father of the eldest child on this case. And so the state is going to submit an exclusion order regarding that child.
Can I know the name?
It's TEYANNAGIBBS, Gibbs. And Your Honor, for the other two children, the state is ready to proceed. We have a partial agreement. If I may read the terms regarding the other two children on the case.
You may.
Your Honor, the other two children are Johans and Sunvi, Johans Harrison and Sunvi Douglas. I offer into evidence what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit A, the parentage test results for those two children showing that Mr. Gibbs cannot be excluded as their father.
State's Exhibit A is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Parents have agreed that they will be joint managing conservators of the children, with Ms. Harrison having the exclusive right to determine their residence without regard to geographic location, as Mr. Gibbs is a resident of Florida and has consented to jurisdiction in Texas. Parents have agreed that they will have, Mr. Gibbs will have the children based on a standard possession and access schedule. Parents have agreed that Ms. Harrison will apply for and maintain government medical assistance for the children, and that Mr. Gibbs will pay cash medical support of $200 per month beginning April 1st of 2025. Parties have also agreed to guideline child support of $776 per month beginning April 1st, with a step down to $621. In addition, any additional healthcare expenses to be covered by the parents 50-50. Court costs as billed to Mr. Gibbs. That is the extent of the agreed portions, if I may call Ms. Harrison.
You may.
Ma'am, what is your full name? Oh, and you do need to.
Yasmin Harris.
Your Honor, I believe she may be having some connection issues. Would it be possible for her to go ahead and turn off her camera to see if that fixes?
She may.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Harrison, would you go ahead and turn off your camera, see if that fixes the connection? Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, Ms. Harrison, can you repeat your first name or your full name?
Yasmin Brooke Harrison.
Thank you. And did you hear the terms I read to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand those terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in agreement with those terms and believe in the best interest of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want Johans's last name to be?
I want his last name to remain the same. It's my last name.
And for Sunvi, what do you want her last name to be?
I want her last name to remain the same. It's my dad's last name.
And that is Douglas, correct?
Yes.
Why would you not be in agreement to their last name changing to Gibbs, which is their father's name?
Because he wasn't really there to determine that one. So I came up with their names. I want to be able to keep that as their names.
And how old is Johans?
3. He just turned 3 February.
And how old is Sunvi?
She's 1.
And had you and Mr. Gibbs ever lived together?
No.
And when did you move to Texas?
Early first week of October.
Okay. And that was 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Gibbs pay for your children's daycare all of part of last year?
Yes.
And you, the best of your recollection, was that from January to October?
Yes.
Was that $20 per week?
Yes.
So are you in agreement to giving him credit for any back child support of at least $860?
Yes.
Did he provide you any money through Cash App?
The most he did provide was, hold on, I have it right here. $90.
So the most you're willing to give him credit for as far as back child support is concerned is $950?
950.
Yes, it would be the 860 plus the 90.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And but just to confirm, since March of 2022, you and Mr. Gibbs had never lived together, not even for a week.
No, we've stayed at his aunt's house, but I wouldn't call it living together.
How long did you live at his aunt's house?
For a month.
Did you live anywhere else where he was also residing?
No.
And he was in the residence during that 1 month, correct?
Was he in a residence or was I in a residence?
Was he also living at the same residence during that month?
Yes. Yes.
And do you have safety concerns with Mr. Gibbs having your address or phone number?
It's just previous harassment.
And when was the last incident of harassment?
October of 2024, before we left for Texas.
And can you tell the court what occurred?
So we set an agreement to for him to take the kids as I moved to Texas, and him and his wife agreed to taking the kids. So to hold up the time, he told me to extend the ELC for a year so that they can continue to go to the school. I did that. Basically update his shot records and give it to the school. I did that. Then he told me to pack the kids' clothes so he could come and get them, pack their clothes, and then the next day he sent the police and DCF to come pick up the kids. And his response to that was, if you don't want the kids, I don't want them either, because I don't have rights over them. So that's why I just don't want my kids to be harmed or taken away at that expense.
Had that been the only instance where the authorities were involved?
Yes.
Sorry, Ms. Harrison, is there any way that someone can watch your child during the hearing? We're in a courtroom.
Yes, she's quiet. Sorry.
And that's not one of the children before the court today, is it, Ms. Harrison? One of your two children?
No.
Okay. Is there any other reason that you do not want Mr. Gibbs to have your address?
That's the only reason.
If the court does grant a non-disclosure of your address, are you requesting a neutral pickup and drop off of, Main Street Garden Park in Dallas?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I passed the witness and would like to call Mr. Gibbs.
You may.
Sir, what is your full name?
My full name is Tyler Trayvon Gibbs.
Did you hear the terms I had previously read to the court?
When you first came on?
Yes.
Correct.
So regarding the exclusion as well as your two children that are yours with Ms. Harrison, you heard all of those terms?
Correct.
Did you understand all of those terms?
Correct.
Are you in agreement with those terms and believe they're in the best interest of your children?
The only term I'm not in agreement with is backhoe.
Okay. But as far as current support, conservatorship, and your visit schedule and court costs, you're in agreement with those terms?
Most definitely.
And what are you requesting that your children's last names be moving forward?
Gibbs, my last name.
And can you tell the court why?
Because they're my children and I never neglected them. She always kept them from me. I have screenshots and evidence proof of her making it hard for me to be even involved in their lives. And stating back to where she just said harassing, I never harassed that girl. I always tried to be there for my kids. I never was there for her, I can admit that. But for as far as my kids, my children, I always tried to be there. She even went as far as neglecting my help, blocking me on Cash App at one point. It's been times where she had another man involved in agreements.
Mr. Gibbs, if you would do me a favor, just answer the question that asked, and we'll get to all of it, I promise. So
What was the question that's asked?
so that one was just about why you want their last name to be yours. My next question to you is, do you disagree with the non-disclosure of Ms. Harrison's address?
Yes, I do disagree.
And had you involved the authorities at one point?
ECF, correct.
Was it just the one time?
Just that one time, yeah.
Was it around October of 2024?
Yes, it was October 2024.
And can you give your version of why you involved the authorities?
Yes, my version of why I involved the authorities is because I felt that the environment they were in were unsafe, and I didn't know where they were at the moment. Because according to me, she was supposed to have been left. And then I also have messages of her saying, if I don't take them, she's going to call DCF herself. So I did myself the favor, because there's been instances where times when I had the kids in my possession, she would threaten to call the police on me because I wouldn't bring them back. That's why I mentioned that I don't have no rights. I'm not on a birth certificate. So legally at the time, I did not have no rights to the children. Biologically, yes. Legally, I'm not on a birth certificate.
And when did you find out that you were the father of the two youngest children?
I never got a DNA test for Sanvi, but like I always trusted that I was her dad because she looks exactly like me when I was a baby. And for Johan's, I got the DNA test. My sister helped me with that, I believe, when he was a little before he officially turned 1. Matter of fact, to the same DNA testing that I was court ordered to go to.
And previously in the breakout room, you had given me your employment history for the last 37 months.
Right.
And you are requesting credit for paying for your children's daycare for the full 52 weeks last year. Is that correct?
Right.
And was that $20 per week?
Correct.
Do you know when Ms. Harrison moved to Texas?
Late in October.
Were you still paying for the children's daycare even past October?
Yes, but then going on, I want to say that the 3rd week of October, I called the school, and then that's when I noticed that the lady at the time, I can't think of her name right now, but she mentioned that there hasn't been going there for about a week.
So where were you sending the money when you were still paying for the school, but they weren't going there?
I was going to the school to pay via Cash App.
Had you ever paid Ms. Harrison directly for the school?
Yes.
Had you also made other payments to her through any other money applications like Cash App?
Yes.
Right. And did you provide her, was it about $403?
Correct.
But she had also provided you some money through Cash App as well.
Correct.
But you don't believe that any of those payments that she made to you were for the children?
Correct.
What were they for, if you recall?
I believe at the time there been a few times other than that 1 month when we were staying together. And it could have been as simply as me just going out to, hey babe, I'm gonna go grab something to eat. And she probably could have sent her share of money to send some food.
Okay. So you're also requesting credit for the full $403 that you had given to her through Cash App. Is that correct?
Correct.
So at a minimum, you're requesting $1,443 of credit towards any back child support.
If there is back child support, correct.
And of the 37 months since your eldest was born, how many times had you and Ms. Harrison lived together on and off?
I would say for a total of 4 months.
Okay.
On and 2 months consistently with my auntie. The other two were on and off. There's been times where we stayed in an abandoned home together. There's been times where I let her sleep on my other aunties Sharon, Auntie Theoni's couch. There's been time when we stayed with my sister. Plenty of time.
And the reason y'all were staying at so many places was due to both of you being homeless at one point.
Yeah, as well as hotels too.
So are you requesting that the court consider a maximum of 33 months of back child support?
Say it again.
Are you requesting then that the court not consider the full 37, but rather a maximum of about 33 months of back child support?
Correct, but it's probably a little lower than that, but correct.
Is there any other reason, or let me ask this, what do you believe that the back child support judgment should be? Do you believe it should be 0?
Yes, I believe it should be 0.
Can you explain to the court why?
Because when I first came on, I tried to say that there's been instances where she declined my help. You know, even going to the fact as far as to taunt me with another man holding my children, claiming to be this is their new dad. She blocked me on Cash App a couple of times. She just pointed out neglected my help, and I also have a screenshot of her admitting that she neglected my help. So I don't even know what we're hearing.
Is there any other reason that you would like that any proposed judgments be reduced?
Say it again.
Is there any other reason that you'd want any proposed judgment to be reduced, any back support to be reduced? Is there any other reason you could think of?
No, that's really the only reason. Aside from me being there, the only time I was not there in my kid's life is when she didn't allow me to be.
So based on your testimony regarding the amount of months and the credit you're requesting, do you understand that the state has proposing a total judgment of $15,038?
For Becco?
Yes.
$15,038 for Becco?
Yes.
Do I understand or do I agree?
I understand.
Yes, I understand.
But you still believe that that amount should be 0, correct?
Correct.
Is there anything else you want to tell the court regarding the retroactive or back owed support?
Yes, there's also been a time where when she moved to Orlando and she came down here to visit, I had Johannes for a couple of months at a hotel in Juno Beach, Florida.
Do you remember how many months?
Approximately a month and a half.
How old was he at the time?
Anywhere from the ages of 4 to 6 months. He wasn't 1 yet.
So Sunby was not here at that point, is that correct?
Somebody was not here at that point, correct.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court about the retroactive or back child support?
There have also been times where I kept Sunby and Johannes when I was staying with my sisters.
Since Ms. Harrison has moved to Texas, have you given her any monetary support for your children?
No, I have no way to contact her. When she was down here, she keep changing her phone number. I tried to call all the phone numbers that I have.
Am I able to object with that one?
Ms. Harrison, what's your objection?
When the day that he called DCF, I didn't make no contact because I was just over it all. So
No, ma'am,
what
tell me
his
what your
response to that
objection is
was-
to what he's saying. What is your
Oh.
objection?
I
You
didn't
have to
block
make a
him.
legal objection, not just make a statement.
I didn't block him when we moved to Texas, nor change my phone number. I've been blocked since we left.
Okay, those are statements. Those are not objections, ma'am. Okay, so
Oh.
go ahead, Ms. Sweet.
Your Honor, I passed the witness and would like to recall Ms. Harrison.
You may.
Well-
Harrison, did you hear Mr. Gibbs' testimony regarding months that y'all lived together in the last 37 months?
Yes, and majority of those months are incorrect.
Okay. So is it still your testimony that y'all only lived together 1 month?
At his aunt's house, yes. And the times when I had my this daughter who's not included in this, those were the times when I was with him at his sister's house just spending the night. But I wouldn't call that us living together. The abandoned house, that was only one night. And then after that, I went back to my friend's house and he went back to his sister's house. And him taking my son to live at a hotel in Juno Beach, I was there and it was only for one weekend.
Mr. Gibbs, you can put your hand down if you want to say something later. I'll allow you to say something.
Did you also hear Mr. Gibbs' testimony, Ms. Harrison, regarding the Cash App payments?
Yes, it wasn't $400 something. It was only 231. And I have the screenshot right here because I showed it. The reason why I blocked him on Cash App was because he would make the payments late. And I told him to go up to the school and pay them himself.
Sorry, 1 moment, Your Honor. So you had previously testified to, lost my place, hold on 1 moment, to Mr. Gibbs giving you approximately $90, but it is actually closer to $231 that he gave
That-
you?
Where I looked at it, so it's 231 on the Cash App.
So that would be a maximum credit, according to your testimony, about
Yes.
$1,091. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Is there anything else you want to tell the court regarding the retroactive or back child support judgment?
And the days to where he's explaining that he had the kids at his sister's house, those were the weekends that his sister voluntarily picked them up and he was living with his sister at the time. So it wasn't really him requesting the kids, it was his sister, because she also was helping me with my eldest daughter as well. So all my kids would go over there under her watch.
Your Honor, if I could just have 1 moment to recap. So based on your testimony of the months and support provided, do you understand the state's proposal would be $16,086 for back child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be in agreement to a judgment in that amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I pass the witness. Your Honor, I request a ruling as to the non-disclosure exchange.
Mr. Gibbs has something he wants to say to me. Go ahead, Mr. Gibbs.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to go back a little bit because the first, as she said, she did say 90. Now it's magically 231. Now, if we add that with my Cash App, because obviously there's been, she obviously must have more than 2 Cash Apps. So on that end of her Cash App, if I sent her 231 and on my Cash App it's saying I sent her 405, that's a total of $636. Also, I would like to notice that the reason why my sister had to be the mediator between us is because Yasmin would never act straight with just me. That's why I sent my sister as a mediator for me.
Anything else you want to tell me, sir?
I also would just want to say, like I said, I don't agree with that back oath because I offered my help. Like I tried to help, as she just declined it. So I don't think I should be held accountable for her declining of my help.
Okay. Anything else from you, Ms. Sweet?
No, Your Honor, just a ruling as to the last name non-disclosure, pickup and drop-off location, and the back child support judgment.
Okay. I will accept the agreed portions of the order so far as there is agreed portions, and I will make those agreed portions the order of the court. Children's last name will be hereafter known as Gibbs. The retroactive child support judgment will be $7,519. You didn't give me a payout amount, Miss Sweet, so I'll say pay it at $75 a month.
Yes, Your Honor, that's perfect.
Okay, and the non-disclosure is denied. You can put app close in the order for them to communicate with each other, but I have not been given a legal reason to grant the non-disclosure. Now that I've made my ruling, do either one of you have any questions?
Is there a way I can appeal against their last name?
You certainly can appeal against their last name, but he's their father, and you want one of them to have your father's last name. He wants them to have his last name, but you certainly can appeal, ma'am. This is out of the, I'm on a roll today with the 303rd. This is out of the 303rd District Court. That's Judge Laditra Atkins. She might have a different opinion from mine. Are there any further questions?
Yes, I have a,
Move forward with appealing.
The Attorney General's office can give you the instructions. Mr. Gibbs, your question.
I would just like, because I'm trying to take notes, I would just like, is it okay if you can just resurface everything as far as the payments?
We're going to send you a copy of this order, sir.
Oh, they are?
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Okay. Anything further?
No, ma'am.
If there are no further questions and nothing further from the state, then thank you both for appearing here today. Good luck to both of you, and you're both free to go.